today. From GEHA Field at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, this is the NFL on EA Sports. And the Atlanta Falcons.
It is perhaps the best home field advantage in all of football, and certainly the loudest, as we welcome you to GEHA Field at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City.
Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and Charles, kickoff moments away. Quickly, what are you watching in this one?
The offensive line for both teams, because both teams have a terrific pass rush. They've got to keep their passers upright. If they have a chance to do that, they can both thrive on offense and move the ball downfield.
The ball on the tee, we're set for football. And into a sea of red, we're underway in Kansas City. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. So here come the Falcons now to get the football for the first time. They'll be led out by their quarterback, the rookie from the University of Washington.
I tell you what, when he's on schedule for that week, secondaries take notice because you've got to stay alert back there on every snap. A truly powerful arm, one that's capable of challenging any level of the defense on any given play. That's why so many scouts preach arm talent when preparing for the NFL draft. A quarterback with arm strength to make every throw in the book, he's an asset to have in any offense.
And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
Well, from an offensive perspective, that was a tough run because he only picked up 3 yards. Well, let's flip it over to the defensive side. They now have the advantage. 3 3-yard gains, that means they're punting the ball likely on 4th down. That's what you're looking for when you're playing defense.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. They'll throw with Penix. Man open, that's Ray McLeod. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. It's a gain of 11, and the Falcons pick up the first.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you're wanting to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
In motion goes McLeod. He's going to get it on the jet sweep. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Well, as a wideout, when you take that handoff and you're coming around the edge, you're expecting to see nothing but empty space in front of you. But if not...
Well, things can go south in a hurry, and that's exactly what we saw on that play with a loss. Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss. Operating from the gun, Penix. Over the middle, that's caught by McLeod. And he'll be brought down with a first down as the tackle's made at the Chiefs' 44-yard line. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue.
Well, every now and then I can speak from experience because I do know, as a defender, it is awfully hard to stay with your man on these crossing routes because even if you don't get picked, there's a danger of being picked either by one of their receivers or maybe by your own defender. And on that play, that worked quite well.
So now 1st and 10 in Chiefs territory at the 44-yard line. Straight ahead, it's Robinson. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
They suspected it was a power play up the middle coming at them, and boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on first down.
From the 42-yard line, here's second down and 8. And looking to throw, Penix. Short throw caught by Pitts. They follow up the gain of 2 with a gain of 1 that time.
Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
Here's play number 7 on the drive. This is 3rd and 7.
To the air, Penix. Able to find the open man. That's complete.
And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. Give him 30 yards there. All right, Charles, let me put you in the head of one of those defenders out there. You have a big play like that go against you so early. What does that shake your confidence?
It shouldn't, but it often does, because your thought process all during the week is how you're going to get after that offense and make your plays. And when they make one against you, makes you a little bit hesitant.
Time to regroup.
So not quite a 1st and goal. It's 1st and 10 from the 10. Looking to throw, Penix.
Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete.
One thing I have learned, receivers don't mind high throws so much to the sideline, but do that over the middle to them, and not only are the DBs going to throw a little verbal trash their way, when they get back to the huddle, they're going to have a few words to say to their QB, aren't they?
Yeah, hung out to dry a little bit there on the high throw. Luckily, fell incomplete.
Second down and a run by Robinson.
And he'll take this one inside the 10 down to the 8. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead. Pretty good little 2-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or 2 because you want to try and defend on 3rd down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
Penix on 3rd down.
The quick slant caught it. And I don't think he got there, no. He's short by maybe a foot, maybe. Call it 4th and inches. And the pocket's been protected pretty good here so far in the opening drive.
We always talk about confidence in runners and catchers and quarterbacks. How about the protection detail? They're not allowing anyone near the guy throwing the football.
And on their first drive, the offense staying out there. They're going to go for it on 4th. They'll run for it with Robinson. And he gets in. Touchdown, Atlanta.
Bijan Robinson
taking it in from a yard out.
And the Falcons are on the board first here on the road in Kansas City. I think going for it there on the opening drive, CD, if you're that close to the end zone, seems like a no-brainer, and they're able to cap things off with a touchdown.
I think that he was imagining the message he would send to his team if he called for the field goal unit at that point. Great drive, got it all the way down there. You're telling your offense, I believe in you, and you're also telling your defense, hey, if they don't score, we've got it covered.
Extra point by Patterson, up and good.
And it's now a 7-0 game. So that one a long 11-play drive.
And it was Bijan Robinson who took it home with a touchdown run.
And following the touchdown now, it's Bradley Pinion on to kick this one away.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. Here's the Chiefs offense for their first possession, and it's Patrick Mahomes at quarterback.
And when you think of Patrick Mahomes, you start to think about all of his attributes, and you realize very quickly you can't just put him into one box. No matter how the game proceeds, no matter what is needed, he tends to have an answer for it and plays accordingly.
Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10, right at the 30. They'll start the drive here with Pacheco.
And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
Brandon, to me, what's important right here on this drive is for them to get at least 2 first downs. They've got to give their defense a chance to settle down, catch their breath a little bit after they give up a touchdown on the opening drive.
Line of scrimmage, the 24. This is 2nd and 6.
Here's Mahomes to throw. He'll find Juju Smith-Schuster. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down.
Mahomes finding Juju there for the Kansas City first.
We'll see what kind of mindset they have here offensively after giving up the touchdown on the opening drive.
And based on our time with them, prior to this game, I feel like they've got a good mindset going in. In fact, the discussion that we had with the coaching staff was, we may give up some points in this game, so our offense has to be ready each and every time to either equal or try and get us ahead and try and keep us ahead. This is their chance to respond to that first touchdown given up. We've called a lot of games, but we don't normally talk about inside linebackers being that fleet of foot, do we?
No, he was able to get outside there to make that play.
Yeah, and you know what makes them faster? Their ability to read plays, understand what offenses are trying to do, and put themselves in proper position.
Throwing now is Mahomes.
That's into the hands of Worthy.
And he is out of bounds inside the 35. The Chiefs have got the passing game rolling a bit, and another first down.
Of course, the catch was nice, but how about what happened after? Able to stay on his feet and gain all that additional yardage. So many of these slot guys, I think, have running back in their background.
From Falcon territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 34. A first carry for Samaje Perine. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
Someone's looking fresh, and this O-line is definitely licking their chops. Everyone likes to run block. If you're an offensive lineman, nice early burst, nice gain too.
From the 25, here's 2nd down and 2. Pacheco gets it up the gut.
And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line.
They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down.
But we always talk about good down and distance, allowing offenses to expand their playbook. Well, 2nd and 2, that means your playbook's wide open. You can run just about anything. But a lot of times, the play caller, he just looks down at his sheet, sees the short yardage runs, and goes to one of those.
Mahomes now on first down. This will be caught inside the 10. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. That's good for a first down, his 2nd catch of the opening drive.
Well, Brandon, obviously no panic in them. They gave up the touchdown. Their defensive side did that. But he's already taken them back downfield. I love this field general that they've got. It's almost like he went to the defensive captain and said, don't worry about it. We've got you. Now they got 1st and goal.
Yeah, we're seeing punch, counter punch, and this could be setting the table for quite the game.
I like that. Let's go ahead and put it in the boxing ring, right? You're going to get hit sometimes. Can you respond and hit back? And they're trying to do exactly that.
3 yards is the gain that time, 2nd and goal.
But yet another completion here on this opening drive, and he's now perfect 4 of 4 to start. Pretty solid execution here.
And how about how everyone's handled their nerves? Because you know what it's like to start a ball game. You're so amped up and ready to go that sometimes the execution isn't there. They've been flawless so far. Well drilled, well prepared, and excited to start this game.
Give him right around 4 on the carry. We'll see if they want to keep pounding here on 3rd and goal. This is kind of one of those in-between plays here, Charles, on 3rd and goal from the 2 or the 3 in that area. What do you dial up?
Something quick hitting. You don't have the time for something that develops slowly. It's got to be right at them if you're going to run the football. And if you're going to throw it, something quick, get it out of your hands in a hurry.
He's got it. Touchdown, Chiefs. Samaje Perine, a 2-yard touchdown grab.
And the Chiefs respond to that opening drive touchdown with one of their own.
I do believe we came here to see a game, didn't we? And it looks like he's running what we call routes versus air. You just go out there with your offensive unit and throw the football with no defense. He's 5 for 5 on the opening drive.
He was on his game there for drive number 1, but my only thing is now he can't go any higher than that. He was so perfect. Can he do it again later?
Yeah, all he cares about right now is making it 10 for 10, 15 for 15.
Keeping that going.
And he feels like he can get it done.
Extra point by Butker is on target, and we are tied at 7. So that one a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive. And it winds up with the Chiefs hitting pay dirt. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. So for the second time in this one, we get set to see the Falcons offense. So both of these teams, Charles, coming off touchdowns now, but this offense, they just had to stand on the sideline, watch their opponent author a really impressive drive to reach the end zone.
Yeah, and I think you're not telling yourself the truth if you don't think there's some one-upsmanship going on right now, because they just had their touchdown answered by a drive of double-digit plays that also found the end zone. Now they want to do something even more impressive to answer that one.
First down yardage on the first play of the drive, 14 yards.
I know this may be jumping the gun a little bit, but 7-7, they're flinging it around like crazy. Look at the drive that's going on here. Partner, we may have to start thinking about one of these defenses just holding someone to a field goal and maybe trying to get an advantage that way.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. Kyle Pitts, the intended receiver, and it's second down. Now Penix. A quick throw there, going to be batted away and incomplete.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating the defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Penix to the air once more. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have a Falcons first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. These two teams all tied after one. Second quarter now, Falcon football, as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Robinson up the middle, and he gets forward up the middle, but only for a couple. It'll be second down.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
Here's a 2nd and 8. Here's Penix. Sets up the screen to Robinson. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 47. It's a loss of a yard, so it's back to 3rd and 10.
Time to give a little credit here. That was an excellent read by the guys on the defensive side of the ball.
Oh, you're crediting your defense.
Got to credit them on that one because they tried to fool them, right? Tried to trick them. Ran a screen, and they went to it and smothered it for a loss of yardage.
The offense on 3rd down, they've been okay. 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. From the shotgun, it's Penix. And he'll be brought down with a first down as the tackle's made at the Chiefs' 31-yard line. 17 yards on the pickup there. The drive will continue.
Love when the playbook comes to life and the execution is there. Man coverage on the outside. And if you like the matchup and you feel like your receiver can get the position he needs, you just throw it up there and let him do his thing. We see this a lot now with back shoulder routes and things like that. And this is a nice job to go up and get it. And they pick up a first down.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Back to throw. Short throw caught by Pitts. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
Coaches always harp on the quarterback reading the defense and getting it to the open man. That's good recognition there. And how about what he did after the catch?
Yeah, hit your tight end, let him get some rack.
Yeah, when he gets moving, not many guys want to come over and put a hit on him, do they?
2nd down and a yard. Play fake, and they'll throw with Penix. Oh, it's intercepted. A drive killer there. Picked off by Leo Chanel. And the Chiefs are going to take over at their own 11-yard line. That time defensively looked like they showed quite a bit of pressure, but backed off, and it proved fruitful. They get the pick.
He went through all of his rules about getting rid of the ball quickly because he read blitz. He saw all those people stacked at the line of scrimmage, and then they fooled him by dropping into coverage. Now he's ready to get rid of the ball fast, but guess what? Too many defenders out there. Exactly as you described, an interception.
They start on the ground with Pirine. And he'll fight forward on the straight-ahead running for just a couple of yards. 2nd down.
Offense looked a little bit discouraged after that play, shaking their heads a bit, looking at each other. I think they thought they'd get a lot more out of that call. Sometimes you do get the running lane you want. And other times, the defensive front, they just break up the play before it can get going.
Mahomes to throw on 2nd down. Catch is made by Marquise Brown. That'll go for a gain of 7. And it makes it 3rd down and 2 yards to go.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did. That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
On 1st and 10, here's Pacheco. Matt Judon there to bring him down.
Brandon, 5 yards on that run. Let's get back to the huddle and make sure if you're a back, you spend time with your offensive line and give them credit. Hard to move those 300-plus pounders at the line of scrimmage, and they did for a significant chunk of yardage.
2nd and 5. Now here's Mahomes. This will be caught by Brown. 2nd catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
Working from the gun, Mahomes. The tight end, Kelsey, has it over the middle. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards.
There's completion to the tight end, and I think that we're looking at something out of central casting, frankly.
Absolutely.
I mean,
size, the hands.
Speed, can flat out run. You put that whole package together, you light up the eyes of an offensive coordinator, don't you?
They're trying to keep the drive going. This will be play number 8. It's 3rd and 2. On the run, this is Gray. And he's got the first down yardage before being taken down at midfield. Give him 6 yards, and they do convert on 3rd.
For the guys playing defense, this has been a really long drive, and physically, that's awfully taxing. But I think the hardest part is mentally. What do you do?
From midfield, here's Mahomes. Now he steps away, and he slides and covers up at the end as he's going to be able to pick up decent yardage. He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be 2nd and a couple.
Certainly not the way they drew it up in the playbook, but that's why they love this guy back there. He sees things breaking down, and he's more than capable of finding an escape route and still getting a decent gain.
On 2nd down, Pirine. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
Not too many more ideal situations at 2nd and 2 in order to try and pick up a 1st down. They ran it and picked it up.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Mahomes going to throw. Pitch and catch here to Travis Kelce. He'll be hit down at the 33, 5 yards on the play.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
Here's a 2nd and 5. To throw, it's Mahomes. And that's going to be incomplete.
They're putting together a drive here in the final minutes of the half, but the coverage has been tight all game long, and they certainly want to keep them off the scoreboard here.
Already a pair of 3rd down conversions for them on this drive, but right now they need 5 yards on this 3rd down try. Looking to throw is Mahomes. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And that's going to be good for another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Falcons' 24-yard line. Give them 10 yards there as this offense is on a roll. This drive continues to plunge forward.
Well, a lot of times when you get a manageable 3rd down situation like this, you have to think about your tight end, and he comes through for him, picking up the 1st down.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. In motion left here, one of their tight ends. Headed straight, it's Pacheco. And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. Mahomes now to throw. A quick throw there is incomplete.
Well, it will look like a march to the end zone has hit a momentary roadblock with that incompletion. No need to panic. They just got to come up with a high percentage play call and see if they can get their offense back on track.
An incomplete pass on 2nd down. It muddles things a little bit here. This is 3rd and 10. Now Mahomes. It's Kelce on the ground. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. So on 4th down, Mahomes off, Harrison Butker on for the Chiefs field goal. That's just 32 yards officially from the right hash. Butker's kick here is good. And they take the lead here now at 10-7. Well, they got the turnover and were able to drive it down, Charles, but ultimately in the end, the defense holds up, and they only come away with the 3 points.
Yeah, they gave up a lot of ground, but when they had to, they settled in and prevented the interception from leading to 6 points. Because you never want to see turnovers turn into any type of points against you, but better to give up 3 than 6.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Returning from his end zone is Ray McCloud. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. And here now come the Falcons. Not an ideal way to end their previous drive. They threw the interception, Charles, after they had built up some momentum. They were moving the football, but something to at least build on for this offense as they run back out here.
Yeah, you're right about that. Up until that last play, everything was working pretty well for this offense, gaining chunks of yardage, getting first downs, really making a push for the end zone, and looked like they had a nice rhythm going. Now you got to have a short memory here. Don't focus on the interception. Focus on what came before it and get back to it. You always worry about those smaller receivers running through that gnarly patch of land in the middle of the field. But he did a really nice job there holding on to the football and protected himself as best he could while completing the play.
Dancing to his left. And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. He'll get 5 out of the scramble. It's 2nd down.
They made a nice effort to stick him with a loss for that play, but it's going to take more than that to keep him from advancing the ball. Should be an entertaining battle anytime he tucks and runs over the second half of this contest.
Ball on the 35. Here comes 2nd and 5. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. This pass is caught by London. And he'll be brought down with a first down as the tackle's made at the Chiefs' 45-yard line. A gain there of 21 yards.
Well, for teams that like to play man coverage, running corner routes can be tough on them because of the ability of getting into it. Sometimes you're squaring it off. Sometimes you're just rounding it. Sometimes there's a fake. Sometimes there's not. That makes it very, very difficult for a DB to stay with it.
And the Chiefs are going to get him. Tershawn Wharton. He's the culprit, dropping him for a 2-yard loss. And no matter what the situation, the O-line just hates that because they feel like they didn't protect little brother back there, right?
And that's just so difficult for them because just think about every single play. When you decide to throw the football, you're dealing with some of the best athletes on the planet. You talk about guys, if they weren't playing football, they'd be starring in the NBA at power forward. It's a really difficult task.
Now following the sack, they'll come up here on a 2nd down and 12. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. He's got his man, London, right side. So we've come upon halftime here in Arrowhead with the Chiefs on top. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much, and welcome in everyone to our downtown Orlando studios in this EA Sports Halftime Report. We were treated to an excellent first half from the gunslinger, Patrick Mahomes. He connected on a touchdown pass in that first half, and that's a big part of why his guys lead at the break.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always. This one's still anyone's game as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. A good, tight football game thus far. 10-7 the score as we resume action on EA Sports. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Here comes the Chiefs offensive unit as they'll have it to begin quarter number 3. Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it 1st and 10. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. The catch made by DeAndre Hopkins. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. Still a few inches short of a first down as they come up now on 2nd down. Up the middle, here's Pirine. And that's going to be a Chiefs first down as he's able to get this out past the 40.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on 3rd down and pick up the first down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the first down. That's exactly what they did.
First down, they go back to Pirine. And slow going there as he'll only get a yard, maybe, up to the 41.
Nice run defense presented there, and what I mean by that is discipline. Guys filling the right gaps in the right holes, no one over-pursuing, and making a very nice play.
Now we're at the 41, 2nd and 9. They'll set up to throw. The hook up on the right side to Hopkins. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. 5 yards, now it's 3rd and 5.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route, and what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
They'll set up the screen to Pacheco. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. That gain of 9 buys them a new set of downs.
I'm not sure that was necessarily a safety valve or a check down throw on 3rd down. Sometimes just try and find the open guy and get him the ball. He did exactly that and found a way to pick up a first down.
From Falcon territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. They'll hand it to Pirine. He takes this for about 6 down inside the 40.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
Ball on the 39. Here's the 2nd down and 4. Again, here's Pirine. And a good push up front, and he's able to navigate his way down inside the 30. It'll go as a gain of 10 and a Kansas City first down.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. They run it with Pirine on first down. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
2nd and 6. Now they'll throw with Mahomes. He'll get this complete to Worthy. 2 catches in the first half. Now he's got a 3rd here, and it's good for a first. Operating from the red zone now, Mahomes. That's caught left side by the tight end, Gray. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. Just a gain of a couple there, and it'll be second down.
It's vitally important to wrap him up immediately, because if you let that big guy get ahead of steam up, boy, then you got real trouble trying to get him down.
But they're able to hold him to a short gain on first down. Second down and 8.
Right here. Mike. Check 55, Mike.
A handoff now for Pacheco. And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. Only a yard on the pickup. And now they've got a third down and 8. The completion on first didn't get much, and now the run on second doesn't get a whole lot either.
Well, if you're a good play caller, you've already looked ahead and anticipated this type of situation. Already down on his play sheet, trying to dial up a big third down play.
Throwing is Mahomes on third. Setting up the screen to Pirine. Good contain, no gain on the screen, and it'll bring up fourth down.
And I know that one didn't work out the way they thought, but I don't think it was a bad time to call this play. You're thinking on third down, you might possibly see some pressure. You might see a blitz. So they tried to set up the screen, but that one was well read, and they stopped them for no gain.
So on fourth down, Mahomes off, Harrison Butker on for the Chiefs field goal. From the left hash, should be a fairly easy one here. Butker's kick here is good. And the lead stretches to 6 here. It's 13-7. Well, looking at it from a defensive perspective, that keeps the deficit very, very manageable. You know, all things considered, not a bad job on the defensive side.
I would say that you've pointed out something pretty good right there, and that is you actually have both sides happy with that exchange. You know, happy in quotes, of course. One team, hey, we've kept it within range. The other side saying, hey, we put points on the board and did stretch out the lead. Let's see how this one turns out.
Yeah, still bottom line, though, 3 points for the opening drive of the third quarter. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And he won't quite make it to the 25. Here comes the Falcons offense. It's their first possession of the second half now. And their deficit a little wider now than it was at halftime following the field goal a moment ago.
But the goal is still the same, because you know they want to come out, establish a rhythm in the second half, and get going. Make no mistake about it, though. Kicking field goals, not in their game plan. They need to get the ball in the end zone.
And a dangerous throw there, incomplete. He threw that into coverage. It was nearly intercepted.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got second and third down to fall back on.
Third quarter of a tight football game as we come up on a 2nd and 10. They'll throw with Penix. Oh, and a bad throw there. It's intercepted. Trent McDuffie with a pick. And the Chiefs are in great shape here as they take over at their 46-yard line. Defensively that time, they were in zone coverage. As a rookie QB, what lesson can you learn there?
Well, understand this. You saw zone in college, and the defensive backs reacted, but they don't react like they do on this level. So when they're in zone and they see the ball coming to them, they'll react at least a half a second faster. You've got to know where you want to go with the ball and be decisive with it. Otherwise, the end result can be something you don't like.
So after the INT, here's Mahomes. He'll drop this off to Pacheco. And he'll be down at the 46. So they go from 146 to the other on a pickup of 8. From the 46, here's 2nd and 2. Here's Pacheco headed right. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down.
Now that's the way to do it. Hand it to someone with vision and good footwork, and add in a little bit of power, and you find a way to pick up first downs.
Throwing on first down is Mahomes. He finds Hopkins complete. Now the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on second down. From the 35, here's second and a couple. Hand off here for P. Ryan. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
Well, you know they had a third down play on standby just in case, but he says no need with that carry. Runs like that will continually earn him more work in this and future contests.
So first and 10 now from the 30. Now back to throw. Pass taken in by P. Ryan. And he'll be out of bounds as he gets this down about the 21 or 22. A good pickup there on first as the screen pass gets him 8.
And good yardage there on first down, because sometimes all you need to do on the screen is get one key block. That might set your man free, and that was pretty good pursuit to the football defensively, or it could have gone for more.
A run by Pacheco on second down. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. That one a first down pickup of 8.
Yeah, once more, strong running, excellent blocking at the point of attack. Look at a nice little drive brewing right here.
Here's a first and 10 at the 14-yard line. They'll drop to throw. Got a man over the middle, Worthy. And the Chiefs are going to have a first and goal coming up as the tackle made at the 3-yard line. Hunt. He is going nowhere in a hurry as he is going to lose yardage here in a big way. That's going to go as a loss of 6, and it'll set him back for second down.
That's a really alert defense there, because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Another shot from the 9 on second and goal. They'll run out of the gun with Pacheco. He pushes forward for maybe 3 down to the 6-yard line. Defensively, I think they can smell a stop. Ball right around the 5 here, brings up third.
And I think what they've done is they put doubt in the minds of the offensive guys. What do we do? Because now you don't have a go-to play. Either side they pick, throwing it, running it, it won't be easy.
A lot of tired bodies on that field, but this is a big play, third and goal. Here's Mahomes to throw. And that is caught for the touchdown, Kansas City. Samaje Perine, his second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Chiefs will add to their fourth quarter lead. We talk so often about how hard it is to win in the NFL when you turn the ball over. And here a late turnover leads to a fourth quarter touchdown and a 2-score lead.
And what's more important is being able to take advantage when a turnover presents itself. You've got to come up with points to make the other guy pay. They're able to do so here, and they've got a pretty good chance now of winning this football game.
Now Mahomes to the line as the Chiefs are going to go for the two-point try. Mahomes will throw for it. Buying time to his left. And he will get into the end zone to extend the lead by 2 more. And with a successful two-point try, the QB rolling out, I would imagine on the defense that makes it tough. When he goes out, he's got the option to run or pass.
Yeah, it really does. If you decide not to bring extra people or extra pressure, maybe you have to have a spy on the quarterback, someone to account for him, because oftentimes that is the unaccounted for player.
Here's the Chiefs kickoff unit now as they'll send this one away. And he'll wisely just take a knee here, and this ball will come out to the 30-yard line. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Escaping the pressure right. And he'll take this beyond the line of scrimmage as he slides to a halt. He'll get 5 out of the scramble. It's second down.
Well, it certainly appears to me that the defensive guys are starting to look a little bit tired while he still has some fresh legs. Not the biggest gain we've seen on a scramble, but still some positive yardage on a play that initially looked like a sure win for the defense.
Penix to throw on second down. Short throw caught by Pitts. And Pitts is going to pick up a Falcons first down as the tackle going to be made up at the 37. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks. Fourth quarter, every drive so critical, and you figure may only get one more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for the second touchdown. You got the first one for the second one to even matter.
And he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up.
Well, at the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back to huddle and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
And looking to throw, Penix. Middle of the field, it's Robinson. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
One of my old teammates called me the other day when he was watching the game. He's like, man, trying to watch an NFL game and trying to account for their passing game, that's difficult. And just when you think you get everything covered, here comes a back out of the backfield. And in this case, he picks up a first down.
On 1st and 10, it's Penix. This one hauled in, and again, it's Robinson. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll leave him with a second and just a few inches left.
Not only did we just see back-to-back nice gains, but we're also seeing the confidence rise, not just for the guy who caught it, but the guy throwing it as well.
And these back-to-back catches here out of the backfield, that can set something up downfield in a later sequence, right?
A lot of the time, it starts to draw the defense closer to the line of scrimmage. So to your point, show this swing pass, show this check down. Maybe later on you heave one deep when you catch them close to the spot.
They still need about the length of the football here, maybe a little less as they come up on 2nd and inches. Looking to throw, Penix. Throw over the middle, going to be caught here by Pitts. And he'll be brought down with a first down as the tackle's made at the Chiefs' 25-yard line. A good pickup there, a 22.
Good yardage on the completion there. And when they look at the scoreboard, they do understand a field goal is not going to do them any good. My guess, they're going to press the ball downfield as far as possible, try and throw it into the end zone and get a score because they know they've got to get that done and get the ball back as quickly as possible.
They'll try to throw again. Here's Penix. Going for Kyle Pitts again. He's got him again. And down inside the 15 he goes. 10 more for him on that one. He's been a busy man. It's a first down.
This defense has certainly had an outstanding second half, haven't they? I know they just gave up a first down there, and for the offense, they're hoping that that's something that they can jumpstart with and maybe start to move the ball a little bit better. But it's been tough sledding for them here the entire second half.
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. To the air, Penix. Here's a screen for Robinson. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. Throwing again, Penix. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
I think you put just a little bit too much heat on that one. When you throw it to the outside, you do have to be careful because you got to keep it away from the defender, but you also have to give your own guy a chance too.
So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down. Here's Penix. Got an open man. It's McLeod. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. They get 16 out of that one, but they'll still need to convert on 3rd. The Falcons on 3rd down. They've been good. 3 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. Penix to the air once more. Forced out to his left. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. Michael Penix, an 8-yard touchdown run. And the Falcons have made it a 1-score game again here in the 4th. So how about that for an answer? They get the touchdown there, and it's back to a 1-score game here in the 4th.
And that's what these guys have done all game long because they've scratched and slashed their way to stay in this game. And by now, we should all realize they're not going away. Now the pressure again swings to their defense because they're going to need to find some way to get the ball back.
Patterson now for the extra point. It's up and good. This becomes a 21-14 ball game now. A 10-play drive that time. And the capper that put it in the end zone, a run of 8 yards. Now Pinion with the kickoff honors following the touchdown. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And he's able to get this across the 20, but not by much as he's marked down officially at the 21. Now this Chiefs offense gets set to go again. They have the lead, obviously, late in the game. I guess the good news for them is if for some reason they would make a mistake, a field goal does the opposition no good.
Everyone loves to have a little bit of a cushion, and that helps you immeasurably. But the bottom line is, do all the things that you're taught in order to close out the game. Don't even let that become an issue.
Yeah, but still a one-possession game. This one not fully over yet. Finally hauled down for the first time this game. Multiple defenders in there to drop him. I think a lot of time when we see a sack, you say, well, you blame it on the offensive line, the quarterback, but here, maybe you just tip your hat to the defender. What a play.
Yeah, and I think sometimes they just get a sense of the play before the ball's even snapped. Kind of like a sprinter anticipating the gun in a race. They're off, and guess what? The quarterback's down.
2nd and 14 as they've got work to do here after the sack. Throwing now is Mahomes. Over the middle, complete. That's Hopkins. And he'll be dropped just shy of the 35 at the 34. A pickup of 17 on a play that originated at the 17.
These guys certainly are not hiding what their intention is. They're absolutely showing it. They're definitely not going to sit on this lead here in the 4th quarter.
Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now here's Mahomes. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. A nice little screen. They get 6 on 1st down.
With all the success they've had throwing the football as a pass rusher, you know you've got to come hard when you see them drop back to throw. So I really like this call to counteract that pass rush with a screen. It turns into positive yardage. A lot of times the offense says, just replace the rusher with the ball, and it turns into a good play.
Here's Pirine. And only a couple for him there as the tackle is made at the 42. The 4th quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
This is 3rd and 2. Maybe the biggest play in this football game. They'll try for the first with Pacheco. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. He hasn't really had a game to remember, but that conversion right there is something to hang his hat on late.
It certainly is. And in these situations, what you're really looking for is the guy who's not worried about his stats, not worried they didn't get 100 yards in a game, but will make that dirty, gritty run that you have to close the game out, as we just saw there.
Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game. So the Chiefs in possession of the ball as we welcome you back. They've got a 1st and 10 as they look to try and finish this one off. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Now a carry for Pirine. And he's over midfield and into Falcon territory. And now we'll see a timeout used on defense as they stop it right out of the break with 1:57 to go in the ball game. Now 2nd and 5. Now Mahomes gives to Hunt, and they'll get this just to the 47, 1-yard gain. The Falcons going to use the 2nd of their timeouts. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. The 8th play of the drive coming up. It's 3rd and 3. Trying for it with Pirine. And he will have a Chiefs first down. And that's the one that should seal the victory. And they'll indeed take a knee. This drive's taken more than 3 minutes off the clock already as they come up on 2nd down. Now here's a fake on the jet sweep as they'll go instead with Pacheco.
I like the call there because that was one to take time off the clock and get them closer to getting out of here with a W. In the mind of the play caller, all you want to hear is tick, tick, tick.
Mahomes down to a knee, and that should just about write a finish to this one.
Listen, anytime you take a knee to end a game, that means you've won it. So it doesn't matter whether it's home or on the road, but there's something a little extra special about doing it in front of your home crowd, isn't there?
And the home crowd applauding. They're happy with what they've seen. Chalk this one up in the left-hand column for a win.
Yeah, that's right. Head to the locker room, throw the wristbands in the crowd for the kids, your gloves, your towels. Get to share it with the home team.
So this one in the win column for Kansas City. And we talked so much about the turnover battle determining who wins and who loses. This game, no exception. They didn't turn the ball over at all, and they go on to victory.
They look like a smooth operation in this one, didn't they? Because you look at every facet of the game, they handled their business. Offense took care of the football, converted it into points. Defense took the ball away, gave it back to the offense. Special teams, right there with them. That's the type of game a coach is going to really love and value. And when they show the film, they have to be careful not to give out too many kudos and kill their motivation going forward.
So that'll do it for my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. The Chiefs victorious here as we say so long from Kansas City.